Hi everybody, Charlie here. This week, it's episode 102 of the Cherry Podcast, and we talk about Tom Brady's retirement. We look at the Super Bowl market and who will be the future of football cards, and we look at the topic of inserts that have jumped the shark. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you on the next episode. Bye.
Good morning, everybody. It is the Thursday hobby chat with me and Grayson. We've got a question already. That's fantastic. Send through your questions with that question sticker, then we won't miss your great additions to the conversation. 5 p.m. here and about to get 3 foot of snow, says Card Portfolio. You can keep that.
No, I love snow.
Why?
It's soft, like me.
It's nice to have the variation in seasons, I suppose. That would be interesting, but I wouldn't like it all the time. It'd be too much of a winter, man. Now, Oz Formula One collector, use the question sticker, mate, and we can get to that. We can get to that question later.
You dress quite often like you're in the snow.
Do I?
In winter, you dress like Kurt Russell in the thing.
Well, that's just because I just love Kurt Russell. You know that. Kurt Russell's my favourite. Now, a few topics to talk about this week. The big ones, of course, are football related. We have the Super Bowl matchup, which is it's not the Rams. For some reason, I thought it was the LA Rams.
It is the Rams.
It is the Rams?
You keep on getting mixed up.
The Rams or the Chargers?
It's not the Chargers. It's the Rams.
Well, Rams, that confuses me because Rams charge as well. So I'm like, is that like they're both called that? Anyway, so it's the Rams and the Bengals. Yeah. Which it's going to be an interesting matchup because we don't have, of course, there's no Brady there now.
Yeah.
That's the other big news. Tom Brady retires. I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it was a bit of a missed opportunity. Obviously, I love him because he's just, I just like that he just would keep winning when people hated him and would want him not to win. And he would we're doing it again. I'm going to win again. I just thought that was fantastic. But it was strange not knowing that was his last game. And then that being it a few days later. Because it was not like announced at the beginning of the season, like people tend to do other athletes at that tier.
Like Kobe did.
Yeah, like this is it. If you want to come and see me, you better come and see me.
Yeah, I hated the Kobe show though. I didn't like that.
Oh, really?
I think it felt. I don't think it helped this is probably a terrible opinion because they won a championship like 3 years later. I didn't think it helped a young team. I think it became all about him as opposed to all about the team. But
yeah, that's true.
I don't think it's the last game of Tom Brady's.
Really?
I think he comes back. I mean, that might be just my heart and not my head. But I think that he's. I can't imagine that space at the Bucks was positive. When we saw what happened with Antonio Brown, that whole environment must have been quite toxic by that point.
Yeah.
And I think that's not what he was there for. And he probably thought, well, I'm just going to get out of this, and it's going to be interesting to see after with a year off, potentially a year off, assuming that he doesn't go somewhere else. But it's going to be very interesting to see if he doesn't go. Wow, I still feel very good because He still looks very good.
He still looks fantastic. He's clearly not made of the genes that the rest of us have. He's got some God genes that are just, I don't know. Or he does as soon as he's off the field, he's in cryogenic stasis, like Joe Rogan style, just on ice.
I love the way that when people talk about when he started out, look how shit Tom Brady looked when he started out, and it's still about 50% better than I've looked at my peak.
Yeah, that is true. I was on the Double Coverage Boys stream last night. We were talking about Brady as well, and that is if you haven't seen that picture, it is worth going back to have a look at him. Drafted 199th in his draft year, and there is no indication in that picture from the draft combine of the sort of play you would think, wow, he's for a quarterback, for somebody who was 6'3", 6'4",
6'3", I think. Yeah.
That's a very skinny kid. Not sure how he's going to do. Yeah. And turns out they were looking at the greatest of all time. So amazing. Yeah,
strange that they were 100% correct about me, and they missed on Tom Brady big time.
Yes.
No, but the Bengals are the interesting team. I don't think anyone wants the Rams to win. Certainly no one who bought NFL trading cards for the last 2 years wants the Rams to win. I'm still yet to meet anyone who likes Matt Stafford. And I've met his grandparents. So that was disappointing. But they obviously bought a lot of Panini product in 2012. So it's
a Herbert versus...
No, it's Stafford versus Burrow.
Yep.
And the best player in the league, and the best player who's been in the league for probably the last 3 or 4 years is Aaron Donald. He's with the Rams, and he is probably the reason that they will win.
Right.
Because he's going to make Joe Burrow's life exceptionally difficult. And given the amount of 2020 contenders NFL cases that I've purchased over the last 12 months, that will in turn make my life incredibly difficult.
Yeah. What an incredible rookie year, though.
Oh, amazing. And if you're watching this, go over to www.dacardworld.com. Or maybe it was Blowout, I can't remember. I looked yesterday. Cases of it are only $1,000 US more of 2020 contenders Panini football, are only $1,000 US more than what they were when I bought them after round 3.
Wow.
And that's when I thought the Bengals could win it. And I was like, I'm all in. This is Joe Burrow's year. And I think that's incredible. I just think that's just waiting to... If he wins, that doubles. If he doesn't win, I'd say it goes up 25%, 30%.
Yeah.
So get over there now. If you've got some cash.
That is. You've been talking about that this week. How that cards from that year, the collectors have not caught on yet to how much there is there. You don't think?
I think that because the absolute hype around Mahomes for the last few years has everyone thinking that there's this massive gap between him and the next guy.
He's sucked all the hype away.
Yeah. And I feel like his parts, I don't feel like Tyreek Hill, he's had hamstring issues before. I don't feel like he's got the scope to be Mahomes' guy in 2-3 years. I think Mahomes has lost elite running backs. I think that and he's got a fantastic team around him, whereas I think that Burrow, for example, has just got very average parts around him. He's got a couple of really good offensive weapons, but I feel like when they get that right, there's an opportunity for a dynasty, assuming that they don't lose a running back to Chargers, they don't lose Jamar Chase to hamstrings, which all has to play out as well. But so I think that there's I think Burrow and Mahomes are much closer than people think, but the teams aren't.
Yeah. Now, moving back to Tom Brady, what are some of as we just sort of remember Brady, what are some of the coolest Brady cards that you've seen either come into your possession or come through the store, somebody's brought into the store, they want to sell them, or that you've bought?
Okay, so we've got less of an NFL audience here in Australia.
Yeah.
However, I think that it probably is not in different around the world in the US. Since selling cards since 2009, I think we've probably seen less than 5, probably less than 3 Brady autographs hit in our breaks or in store.
Yeah. He doesn't sign a great deal, but he's often in a lot of product.
Yeah, we have one box of Immaculate NFL. I don't remember what year it was, like 2016, 2015. We have one box left, and the other boxes from the case were in our live breaks, and they were amazing. And so I had this box, and no one would touch it. Just, no, not interested. Yeah, Grace said, yeah, just try and sell it again. We saw that break, 6 months ago. No one forgets.
Yeah.
So couldn't sell it. Anyway, good customer of mine eventually bought it off me cheap. Tom Brady autograph in it.
Wow.
Yeah, and he's still got it. He named his child Tom.
Wow.
So he deserved to get it.
Yeah. So he's a big fan.
Yeah, so but that was one of, and I remember another one, a flawless, and then maybe there's been a couple others I forget, but I think it's less than 5. In that same time, I've seen, I don't know, 50 Jordans, 150 LeBrons, thousands of Kobe's,
Yeah.
50 Messi, 100 Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So that scarcity, I think, is real, and so I think Tom Brady autographs are absolutely a good investment and an amazing card to get. The best one I've ever done, my best Tom Brady card story was Panini had previewed the Color Blast for the NBA. Told this story before, and I thought, well, that's going to really lift up the prices of the NFL ones because Zion Williamson's got one, and that's going to sell for tens of thousands of dollars, and then everyone's going to go, well, what's the Brady one? What's the Mahomes one? What's the whoever? So I went around, and there was 2 Brady Color Blasts. One of them was $1,200 US, and one of them was $2,000 US. And I bought the $1,200 US one, and then I was negotiating with the other person. I was like, listen, one just sold for $1,200 US.
Yeah.
Can I have yours for $1,200? And they were like, nah, you can have $1,500.
Yep.
And I sat on it and I thought, wow, it's real cheap. Can I have it for $1,300? And they're like, nah, you can have $1,500.
Yeah.
So I sat on that for a little bit. Didn't take it.
Yeah.
They bumped the price up to 2.5 or 3, I can't remember. Anyway, it was gone. Needless to say, the one that I got for $1,200, I think we sold for not long ago, maybe like 3 or 4 months ago, for like $20K.
Yep.
So that was a really stupid decision.
Yeah. 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 Should have paid the extra couple $100.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was cheap at the time.
Yeah.
But bought hundreds of Brady's Exquisite and his Chrome and his Finest and his...
These are the rookies?
Ultimate, no, just cards of his through the 2000s. Still exceptionally undervalued on eBay. You can hop over there right now, type in Tom Brady Ultimate or Tom Brady Patch, and just sort by value. Like, just go, I want to pay between 100 and 500. And some of the cards, like I'm telling you, some of the cards you'll find Jordan Poole cards that sell for more.
Wow.
Like,
yeah, that makes no sense.
no, it doesn't make any sense at all.
Yeah.
I think there's 2 things. One, a lot of the people that are buying cards want Panini cards, and they're not Panini cards.
Yeah.
And then the second part is that people are there's so much that is available now, and that's got a real market to it because it's selling every couple of seconds or every couple of days.
Yeah.
Whereas these cards, they're not getting the same amount of market updates.
Yeah. They're not. A lot of those cards are in people's collections, and that's where they're staying for life. So they don't need to come out.
Yeah, like they're sitting there going, oh, like I've got this patch of Brady, but it's only like $250. I'll hold on to it. So meanwhile, the market price for it hasn't shifted, and you don't get into a bidding war. And so I think that go and have a look now. I think is a good time to pick yourself up some Brady's. I know that it's probably not the best time because there'll be a lot of hype this week. So expect that there will be a drop-off. But at least you're going to have some stuff around you because 20 years from now, he will have been and will always be the greatest NFL player that has ever lived.
Yeah, it's difficult to see somebody reaching that level again, I think. Like that amount of wins, and then in second to last season, I'm going to go and do it for a completely different team.
Yeah.
And everybody says, the Bucks, okay, see you, Brady. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. No.
And he makes it happen.
Yeah. The stories are like,
Yeah.
it's so unlikely to be repeated.
Yes.
In salary caps, in the way that people's bodies are managed, like the way that their mental health is supported. I feel like dynasties like that are going to be less possible.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Who's next?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, we've got the two guys who are in the Super Bowl this weekend. Who else can collectors look at outside of them, including them?
No one's looking at Stafford. I saw a card of himself at 4,000 the other day. Like, if he wins the Super Bowl, like, he still wakes up the next day as Matthew Stafford. And let's not get it twisted. I'd swap.
Yeah.
I'd swap.
Yeah.
But if I had the choice of NFL quarterback to swap into, NFL, if I could wake up tomorrow and I could be either any NFL quarterback or Lindsay Lohan, I would be Matthew Stafford last. So,
Lindsay Lohan got thrown in there for some reason.
well, she was regularly waking up for someone else.
Oh, that's true. Yes. Yeah. No, I get it now.
The next guy is really interesting because there's like a whole bunch of guys from the 2020 rookie class that, Tua is, everyone dislikes him, but he's still got a strange ability to win games, and he's potentially not really been that healthy, and he's also not really had a huge amount of time to work with his team, and his team are a basket case. I think they're up on charges at the moment. They're defending charges of racism, etc.
Oh, wow.
So, it's one thing to kind of go, this guy's not necessarily the guy, but at the same time, what's he had to work with?
Yeah.
As opposed to, obviously, you can go into a good organisation like Mahomes went into a great organisation behind a great quarterback in Alex Smith, whose leg was a sausage roll at one point, and you get that teaching and that support network. Tua's had the opposite, so I think they've still got some real scope. Jalen Hurts is quite an interesting guy as a quarterback, and just needs to mature as well. So there's a whole bunch of guys from 2020. Kyler Murray is, when Kyler Murray is hot, there is not a better quarterback in the league or more dangerous quarterback in the league. Can he get that to last a season rather than 10 games? Dale hopes so.
Yeah.
Guys made Dale look like a dickhead the last few years, and that won't keep up, or he'll be over there.
Yes.
And then you've got Josh Allen, who clearly is one of the most talented and elite human beings on the planet, and that's just in the last few years. So I think there's opportunities there to see the next guy, the next person to push Mahomes for the number one ticket. I don't see the next. I don't know if they can get to the next Brady. I don't know what has to happen for that to happen. But Joe Burrow's cards are about to go to the moon. So
yeah, very exciting time for football fans. Despite Brady has cemented the legacy, he's now leaving the stage. But there's a lot there to be excited about.
If I missed anyone, please let us know, and I'll address that. And if I think you're wrong, I'll say.
Now, a couple of spicy topics to talk about
Not
today.
Metazoo again.
No, we did cop a bit of flack from Metazoo.
It's sold out. I've got
Yeah, it
other
did.
store owners coming into the shop and asking me for Metazoo.
Yeah, it's a real thing.
So I fucked up.
The first of these topics is how redemptions and some of the best cards in especially high-end products being redemptions, how does it hurt the value of sets? We just had, for example, last night we just had a large card pulled, triple autograph from Immaculate. LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, someone else?
Wiseman.
And James Wiseman. So the three top prospects from that rookie year. And number one, well, the big thing for me is that I get a picture sent through of it, and it's horrendous. It's just some pictures, it's just some words, and on a piece of cardboard. It's nothing to look at. People sort of scroll straight past it on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. It's only the diehards who are going to bother to zoom in and go, "Oh wow, that's a big card." But everybody else is going to be. We would much rather see those autos, the pictures. It looks fantastic. How does that hurt the value of sets or the sealed wax with that happening more recently? Obviously, there are reasons that it's happened, especially the last couple of years. But what does that do to the value now and going forward?
What does it do to the value? It's cards sell for less as redemptions.
Yeah.
That's a fact. If you're interested in buying really good cards of people, buy them as redemptions. There are redemptions, buy them as redemptions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. We buy heaps of redemptions.
So somebody's pulled one.
Yep.
And they want to move it on, and then you just sit on it and wait.
Yep. We buy. We've bought hundreds, probably thousands redemptions. You would save probably up to 50%.
Wow.
Yeah. The Luca, the one I remember buying quite a few was the Luca triple and the Luca dual autos and Immaculate, rookie year dual autos and Immaculate. They were like between like 1,000 and 2,000. By the time they were signed, maybe 5,000 plus.
Wow. Okay.
So buy redemptions. They offer great value. Don't sell them if you've got them. Either redeem them, or if you think the person's not going to be a stud, then I'd sell them.
Yeah.
They become a nightmare for buying old sealed wax because you just don't. You got to try to remember: was this person a redemption in this one? Was they not a redemption in this one? Because once they expire, it's just it's like dust.
Yep.
So I think that those parts, the hobby's kind of understood for some time. What we're starting to really have to come to terms with is that we live in an age where everything is so instant and everything is so visual, like Instagram or TikTok or YouTube, and it's there's so much sharing of these wins, these dreams come true, that being this little piece of cardboard with Times New Roman on it just doesn't satisfy anyone.
That's tough to get excited about.
Yeah, it's like a logo man of oh God, I can't think of any, like a Christian Leitner.
Yeah. It's more exciting to look at.
Yeah, and worth a quarter as much.
Yeah.
And that's actually completely not true. But
shout out to the Leitner collectors.
Yeah. But I'm trying to make a point, Paulie. Bad, amazing looking cards will stop people scrolling quicker than a one-of-one LaMelo Ball redemption that you've got to squint, or I need to put under almost a magnifying glass to work out what it is.
Yeah.
So I think there's a few different questions. One is, why is it that for the last few rookie seasons, the number one guy has just not been a signer. Is it like Luka didn't sign, Tatum didn't sign for a large chunk of his career, Zion didn't sign, Ja didn't sign, obviously LaMelo didn't sign for a large chunk. Why is it that we've got this like consistent stud no sign scenario? Like Panini obviously don't want it. Panini are probably getting less of their autographs. They're more important to them for the promotion of their product. They want them to sign. So why is these people are not signing? It's really disappointing. Like this year, we're not sure who that stud is yet. There might not be one yet. And everyone's signing. Yeah. So, but I think it seems really disappointing. And the second thing is that, and this goes out to Panini, and if anyone who's in their development team might want to comment on it, is how far are we from the potential of having redemption cards that feature a digital image of a mock of that card? So I'm assuming that there's already been one created. Why is it we can't have that printed as the card or on the card, so that the redemption is, one side a digital impression, an artist impression of the card, pre-signature, and then the back side of it is the actual redemption information.
That could work.
I feel like we're not far from it.
Yeah.
Potentially.
Like, obviously, they have that going into the set. I mean, they've got an example of they've got a Lakers triple auto in the product disclosure.
Yep.
One.
Product information.
So they must have this, this one as well.
The
the Wiseman LaMelo. Yeah, it's not signed. Then we could, and obviously you can have a disclaimer. It might change, etc.
Have a big old stamp over it, like this is a fake card.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that would be cooler.
I think
to pull out of it like this is what's coming.
The slow roll.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so awesome. That's what it's going to look like.
Yes.
And I think it's time.
Yeah, I agree. That'd be a good idea. Much more exciting, and for a hobby that has shifted into breaks in a big way, makes complete sense to have something more visual for people to get excited about.
Absolutely.
We've got a few questions coming through. That's looking good. Now, one more topic, G, that we've got, which is our other spicy one, which Dale helped you on.
Oh, he didn't help me that much.
Didn't he?
Well,
is and you were talking about this the other day in store to some of the customers who you upset, which was inserts that have jumped the shark, that they've been overdone or have become too easy to pull. And one of the examples, which I thought was a good example, was the Net Marvels, which that's the sort of comic cover image, which a couple of years ago, big card in the Zion year ones, fantastic set, difficult to pull, and then in this year, last season, LaMelo season it was very easy out of those Donruss packs.
Yeah, very easy.
And you had other examples as well.
Yeah, well, the one the very small amount of assistance that I got from Dale, he mentioned the Hoops Special.
The rookie.
Yeah, the rookie special, which was a one per case insert in 1920, Zion and Ja, and then this year it just seemed to be everywhere in the product.
Yeah.
And it's not that the Hoop Special is not Robinson Crusoe, nor was Net Marvels. It was, you look at variations of inserts, like the Color Blast in the World Cup Soccer had variations numbered to 5. The Kaboom in the NFL's had variations numbered as low as 1. And I think that, even with the zebras started coming out in select SKUs as die-cut versions and so on. I feel that when you have these short printed inserts, and you start having numbered variations of them, it kind of like it just takes away from the uncertainty or the mystery, which is the same word, just said differently, of that insert. And so I think that it's either Panini saying, and Topps probably do it too, I don't have as good a grip of some of their products, but it's either them saying that we know our customer and this insert is going to fall away a bit in its second year, or with this class, and that we're going to deliver upon our value proposition to the customer better if we've got more of it in the product, and therefore we're putting more into the product, and the prices will come back of the singles, but we understand that, and we think that the end result's going to be in favour of the collector. So without impacting those original very short printed. And then what we'll do in 2 years' time, we'll bring in another insert. So is it a case of an insert jumping the shark, or Panini going, it's time for this insert to jump the shark, and then
it could be. Yeah.
let's bring in the new one. But the one that strikes me, and I think it's actually the most underrated insert in the hobby at the moment, and it is it's in the MLB Panini products. It's called the Color Wheel.
Ah, yes. Yep.
It looks gorgeous. It's kind of like if Steve Jobs had designed a card.
Yeah, it's got for some reason it has an 80s or even a 70s feel to it.
It's good.
Yeah. That era of logos and typography with the black and then the colours in the middle. It's got a real feel like that.
So it drops in upcoming NFL Select for the first time. It'll debut.
Yep.
So we're looking at Trevor Lawrence will have one. Brady will have one. Burrow will have one. Stafford will have one.
Yeah.
No one cares.
No.
And that will give it legs. I expect the Trouts, the Otanis, the Harpers, you name it, colour wheels from the Panini baseball stuff will go up. I don't know how far they'll go up. People still haven't sunk their teeth into Panini baseball inserts.
No.
Some of them are stunning too. Like, if you believe in the Brian Gray philosophy of the license will mean less than the brand, that is his philosophy, I think.
Yeah.
License being less than brand. Then they're really ones to buy. The Donruss Optic US flag sets are gorgeous. Some of the select inserts, like the colour wheel, are gorgeous. Some beautiful ones in prison baseball. The lava is gorgeous. So if you believe in that, then I think buy some of those colour wheels. And then with the NFL one, they've got variations of it straight away. So there's a gold variation. It's almost got like a little gold leaf on it.
Right.
And then there's a variation to one, which I'm not sure what colour that'll be. But certainly one to look out for, that new insert, short print insert, case hit insert into a product.
Yeah, okay. So coming into select football.
Coming into select football.
Yep. Awesome. Okay. Well, we got a few of your questions down the bottom there. Let's have a look. See what we can get through. Adam Schraman, first one, says, any big card shows in Australia that aren't really like dependable ones?
There's the first series of ones at the moment.
Yeah, there's the first ever sort of series called the Hobby Hangout, which Dale and I were at in Sydney last year, and the Melbourne one, after a couple of delays, is coming up in 2 weeks. Jerry will be there. A whole bunch of tables of mainly singles.
I'll be doing a signing session.
Yes. I'm not sure what you'll be signing or whether you'll be signing much at all. But we will all be there. There will be loads of cards there. Some sealed product, it'll be mostly singles, almost all singles. You'll, if you've got cards that you want to get rid of and turn into cash, you can do that too, because Dale will be there buying.
All day.
We will have probably somebody else there buying as well. So sports, TCG, doesn't matter. Bring it in, and someone from the team will take a look at it.
Absolutely.
But yes, the hobby hangout. But apart from that, hopefully the hobby hangout becomes an annual sort of roadshow. It's been difficult the last couple of years, obviously, but something like that would be fantastic, because we are not spoiled like US collectors, where they seem to have a large-ish card show almost every weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
That they go to.
Absolutely, and it's going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of people watching the hobby hangout and going, okay, is that something that we can flesh out and monetize? And I think that if that happens, I mean, the hobby hangout probably thinking the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Then I think you're going to start seeing some of those bigger companies from the US wanting to get involved.
Yeah, I mean, as a population, we are not large, so we are sort of equivalent to a largish US state. So I guess we could have one every quarter around Australia somewhere. That wouldn't be, saturating. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they've just got to work out where they can get the ticket price. Because I think the ticket prices need to be large enough to support those big boys, like, PSA or Beckett or Ultra Pro. Like, it's a big expense to get down here and get involved. Panini, Tops. So I think that they need to get that ticket price to a point where what are people prepared to pay to have a big card show?
Yeah, on the tier of an Oz Comic Con or a PAX or something like that. Yeah, definitely. Good question.
If you want to upgrade from Whitey to Kenny G,
yes,
you've got to.
Yeah, Kenny G needs to see that green.
Yeah, he didn't get on a plane for 100k, I'm told.
No, why would he? From Caleb, will the market ever bridge the gap in regards to graded cards, e.g. PSA 10 versus PSA 9? Massive difference in price.
No.
There are some large differences.
Yeah, there should be. Like PSA 10s, let's just say, I don't know, 2 to 5% of cards hit that mark.
And we're saying that this is a flawless card.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah,
I would say that, 30% cards might hit the 9. That's like, I don't know, what's 2%? What's 2% to 30%? I don't know, big difference. It's a lot.
Yeah.
So those numbers are not factually correct either, but that's how it feels like.
Yeah. So the difference makes sense.
Yeah. If you look at the cards that you might have, just say you got 100 cards. Just say I give Dale 100 cards to assess for grading.
Yeah.
Maybe 10 to 20 make it through. And of that, let's say it was 20. Of that 20, maybe 10% gen. So you're talking 2 out of every 100.
Yeah.
And that 100 was the cards that I thought
these are good.
Could grade.
Yeah.
So I think we should absolutely. I think the premium for PSA 10s or BGS 10s is not high enough.
Okay. Good question.